So let's see how this turns out. We have Wood Elf turn 3. He took his Wild Riders and his War Dancers and charged into the flank of my big Knight Errant unit. And I just felt there was no way I could withstand that, so I decided to flee. That red token marks how I lost my ward save because of it. He angled his fast calves such that my Knights of the Realm won't be able to countercharge his Wild Riders, which was smart because that's what I wanted to do. He took his general and planted himself right behind that big unit of Knights, which again was very smart because one, he's a terror bomb again, and if my Knights fail their leadership test, they're going to run right to the fast cav and be destroyed. And secondly, he can charge either of those two Knight units on his next turn. So yeah, not really liking how my left flank is looking right there. On my right flank, he turns his Treekin around and facing my Grail Knights. And my Grail Knights are in kind of a spot because I can't get out of their charge reach. I can't march because they're within 8 inches. I'm in the woods, so it's going to take some of my movement off. Really, all I probably can do is turn around and take the charge and hope I do okay. In the lower right, you can see he took his Treeman and charged my general like I thought he probably would. And I'm okay with that. You'll notice my general has 1 wound on him already. That came on turn 2 when his noble fired the Hail of Doom arrow at me. It does 3d6 strength 4 shots. And after all that, I think he rolled 12. So 12 strength 4 shots. I walked away with 1 wound. I was pretty happy with that. So I have 2 wounds left. I think I can survive his attacks. And on my attacks back, I'm just hoping to get a 6 on my 2 wound rolls so I can take advantage of that killing blow. And if you would, just look at how the Eagle and his Glade Guard and his War Dancers are set up, because that becomes important in just a second. So at the end of that battle, you can see I won. His Treeman went after my Pegasus. Being a 3-wound model, he's a monstrous mount, so you don't have to go after my general. So he went after the Pegasus, hoping to get combat res, and was only able to do 2 wounds. And on my return hit, I was able to get a killing blow on him, so killed him outright, which was very, very, very nice. So we moved to my turn. My Knights of the Realm passed their terror test from the dragon. They charged the fast cav, and he didn't flee because he felt he might go off the board. And so we're going to see how that combat goes. I didn't know how to turn my Knights Errant unit with my BSB, because either way I'm going to get hit in the flank by either the General or the Wild Riders. So I figured it'd be better to face the Wild Riders because the rest of his army was in that direction, and I don't know, it was a lesser of 2 evils, I guess. Now, if you look up on the right, a big mess of guys. So I took my general and I charged his Eagle, and I said, I'm charging on the ground. My Pegasus Knight can fly, but he doesn't have to fly. I'm charging on the ground. And I did that because I thought he would probably flee, and he did. And it allowed me to redirect my charge at his Glade Guard, and they were in the woods. And because I was on the ground, I was able to go into the woods, and he chose to flee with them. And they fled through the War Dancers who failed their panic test, and so they fled. So what you're looking at there are 3 of his units heading off the board, or at least in that general direction. So I thought that was kind of funny. So you can see my general, because of the failed charge, is kind of stuck out there. In hindsight, he probably should have been closer to that woods, but whatever. You can see I turned my Grail Knights around. I spent so much movement and mental energy trying to get them out of the woods, which in hindsight was just silly. What I should have done is just reformed, facing towards a Treekin, and gone 5 wide. Because being in that formation doesn't do me any good, because I only have 5 models. I'm not going to get a rank bonus anyway. And it limits me to 3 attacks when I receive that charge instead of 5 attacks. So kind of a stupid mistake. If you look at the bottom, I rallied my Pegasus Knights. I was unable to rally my fast cav. They fled off the board, but my bowmen also rallied. So amazing, amazing battle over here. I take that unit of Knights of the Realm, big heavy cavalry. I charge into the front of some fast cav, and I end up doing 1 wound. And he fights back, and I don't remember how many guys I had in that unit, but I think he killed 1, maybe 2. I don't know. You have to, if you remember the pictures better than I do. But anyway, I won the combat, but he held, and that just really hurts me. I was hoping to beat him pretty soundly and pursue him and get out of the charge arc of those Wild Riders, but that was not to be. I am now set up for a beautiful countercharge for him, and that is not good. You can see my Knights Errant unit. I already talked about them. They rallied. On this side of the board is you see his Treekin charge into the front of my Grail Knights. His Great Eagle rallies, but his Glade Guard and his War Dancers both fail their rally test. At Leadership 8, that's not unheard of, but yeah, kind of surprising there. They're both heading off the board. Almost went off the board. He took his Wild Riders, charged into the flank of my Knights of the Realm. His Fast Cav, if you remember, they were in the front of my Knights of the Realm, and between the two of them beat me up pretty good. Won combat, chased me down. So they're kind of facing towards the table edge, but that's because they just wiped me out and took a banner. His general in the lower right-hand corner actually is facing towards my unit. The model we have facing the way you see it because it just stuck out so far it wouldn't fit. So anyway, he charged my unit with his dragon, with his highborn on top of it, and he doesn't do very well. I don't remember how many he killed, because again, I don't remember what the picture looked like before, but he didn't do enough. I had Outnumber, I had a couple banners, I had the virtue of +1 combat res. I win combat. He passes his break test, but I get to reform, and so now he doesn't have my flank. So that's nice. There's another view of what's going on what I consider my left flank. There's another view of the board. You can see his Treekin killed 2 of my Grail Knights. Had I been 5 wide, I could have had 3 guys attack back. As it was, I could only have 1 guy attack back. He did do a wound, but we're locked in combat. So on my turn, I took my Pegasus Knights and charged into the rear of his Treekin, but they were too far away. Being flyers, they still move their full 20 inches, and so I'm still okay. If my Grail Knights win combat, that Treekin will run into my Pegasus Knights and automatically be destroyed. So, not complaining about that. On this side of the board, amazingly good luck. He fought against his Highborn and his Dragon again, and I won combat again, and he failed his break test. And so I ran down his general on the Dragon and pursued far enough to take me into the rear of the Wild Rider unit. So this side of the board, which was looking horrible for me, all of a sudden looks very, very good. And my right flank is looking even better because I did win combat. His Treekin broke. They fled into my Pegasus Knights, and they are gone. So the right side of the board is completely mine. He's got a couple units fleeing in the middle, and he's got a couple units in trouble on the left. Or so I thought, until we did combat. If you remember, I had 3 Knights Errant, one of whom was a champion, and my BSB charging to the rear of the Wild Riders unit, and I killed 1. And I'm pretty sure that was my BSB killing his unit champion. Otherwise, my Knights Errant completely fluffed everything, and he killed all 3 of my Knights Errant. Couldn't believe it. So when in combat, he was able to reform. Yeah. There's another view of the board. You can see he took his Great Eagle and charged my general, my Pegasus Knights. You can see up in the upper right, they charged his Wild Riders, and apparently, don't know, that may not be Wood Elf turn 5. It may be, I think, Bretonnian turn 5, because my general's locked in combat with his Eagle. His Eagle killed my Pegasus. I wasn't able to kill the stupid Eagle, so we're standing there, and my Pegasus Knights on my turn 5 charged as War Dancers. Another view of the board. Sorry, I thought I was going back. I'll go back there in just a second. So anyway, on this side of the board, we're still locked in combat. I'm in a challenge with his noble, so he's not. All those other Wild Riders aren't able to attack me, but I did a wound on him. He's not wounding me. We're just kind of stuck there. You can see my Pegasus Knights that charged to his War Dancers. I lost one of them, but I beat him overall, and we were able to destroy them and overrun into the Glade Guard. So that was very nice. So the right side of the board is mine, the middle of the board looks like it's mine, and the left side of the board should have been mine. It's not looking quite so much now. So he countercharges with his Fast Cav. We're still holding. My general's still locked in combat with that stupid eagle. Yeah, nothing more here. We're holding. You notice his noble's gone. I was able to kill him in our challenge. My general finally kills the eagle. The Pegasus Knights lose to the Glade Guard and run away. And that is how the game ended up. So I added up the points difference in who was destroyed. I killed 800 points more of his guys than he did of mine. Throw in table quarters and the banner he got from me, and it was a solid victory for the Bretonnians. But it doesn't really matter. But fantastic game, really fun game, back and forth, had a lot of surprises in it. Just a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it.